So we will go for the next, that is the pulse amplitude modulation. Okay, so this pulse amplitude modulation is how the pulse amplitude modulation is generated. Now here, this is what the block diagram. This is simple block diagram, how you can generate it. So this is what your modulating signal. Okay, pulse amplitude modulation, you give the modulating signal, maybe the analog signal. Okay. And here, this is the simple, the multiplier. Okay, so it multiply whatever the input is there, it multiply with that. Okay, so this is what a modulating signal, and it is multiplied here. It is the multiplier. And here, this is what your sampling signal. Sampling signal is a train of a pulse. So simple continuously. So here the multiplication of the instantaneous signal is done with respect to the multiplication of sampling signal and modulating signal is done. So we will just see here. So the pulse amplitude modulation is the basic form of pulse modulation in which the signal is sampled at regular and each sample regular interval, and each sample is made proportional to the amplitude of the modulating signal at the sampling instant. So what, again, it is the simple, the multiplication is done, and I'll show you the figure that how it is generated. The pulse amplitude modulation signal from a sample which has two input, and modulating signal sample the carrier pulse. Okay, so how it is done? So here, thus the amplitude of the signal is proportional to the modulating signal through which information is carried out, and this is the pulse amplitude modulated signal. So here you can see this diagram. Now here, pulse amplitude modulation is shown here. This is what taken as simple sinusoidal modulating signal. Now this sinusoidal modulating signal is there, and this is the train of a pulse, that is the sampling signal. Obviously, whatever the Nyquist criteria we have studied just now, so that Nyquist criteria we have to follow here. So whatever the sampling frequency, it must be double, at least. This is the minimum requirement, at least double of the maximum frequency of this modulating signal. Now, what, there is a multiplication at this instant with this pulse, and this is the simple multiplication. So what you can say here, in this whatever the interval is there, so that interval is same, and here the same interval is same, and again here the same interval is same, again same, again same. So here pulse amplitude modulation is the same, exactly same as your natural sampling. So you have been doing the natural sampling and you are using it. So if you are using for a modulation process, then it is pulse amplitude modulation. You are whatever this pulse, you are varying the amplitude. You are varying the amplitude of this pulse according to the amplitude of what this modulating signal. So this is pulse amplitude modulation. Now, as the modulation is done, now the same thing we have to do the demodulation. So how demodulation we can do? So for the demodulation of the pulse amplitude modulation signal, the pulse amplitude modulation signal is fed to the low pass filter. So simply, if you will feed it to the low pass filter, so this signal, it will pass through the low pass filter. Now what low pass filter will do? Low pass filter, this as this signal, now this whatever this instantaneous signal, it has a lower frequency, and this sampled frequency, it has higher frequency, as minimum criteria is also saying. Now here, if you will say this is the one for this is the single pulse. So single cycle. In the single cycle, if we will count here, so here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it is 9 times. In this example, it is 9 times of the whatever your signal frequency is there. Now, suppose this frequency is 1 kilohertz. So what will be the frequency of the output? Obviously, it is 9 kilohertz. I'm talking about this example. It is not the thumb rule. It is not true for everything. It is depend on how you are taking the sampling frequency. So it will pass. It will 9 times. So if you will pass this signal through a low pass filter, and the low pass filter, which low pass the filtering capacity is around 1 kilohertz. So it will block the signal beyond 1 kilohertz. So as whatever, suppose 1 kilohertz is your maximum frequency, or whatever the maximum frequency is there. So what happened here? The signal, whatever this signal, it will only sense, it will only connect this, and this low pass filter signal, you will give the smooth passing. So here the pulse amplitude modulation, you can just pass through the low pass filter and you will get the demodulated signal. Okay, so this way you can do this. Here the low pass filter estimates high frequency ripple. It eliminates the high frequency ripple, as I told here, and generate the demodulated signal, which has its amplitude proportional to the PM signal with at all the time instances. So at all time instances, this is what modulated signal, this is what this is modulating signal, this is modulated signal, and this signal is then applied to the inverting amplifier. Now here, generally the inverting amplifier, there is a phase delay. If you will have the inverting amplifier, then exactly 180-degree phase shift is there. If it is not an inverting amplifier, then some partial delay is there. So if the inverting amplifier is yours, you will get the exactly 180-degree phase shift in the output. That is the demodulated signal. So here it is shown. So you can see this is the modulated signal, and the modulation is done. So train of pulses, the amplitude is according to this modulating signal. And as this is what passed through the inverted filter, this whatever the amplifier you are saying, that is the inverted amplifier. So you are getting the 180-degree phase shift. So where is the positive peak? You will get the negative peak. Where is the negative peak? You got the positive peak. So this 180-degree phase shift is there. And if inverted amplifier is not there, then you will get the small little phase shift. So is there any doubt here? Is there any question? If there is, so we can discuss right now. Okay. Now this is a pulse amplitude modulation we discussed, and demodulation also. Now we will go for the next, that is the generation of the pulse width modulation. Now after pulse amplitude modulation, we will go for the pulse width modulation. Now what is done in the pulse width modulation? Here there is a simple comparison between the input signal and the sawtooth signal. We will go for the waveform and we'll discuss that by the comparison. This is the comparator. Okay, this is simply the comparator, input signal message and sawtooth signal message, and this is the pulse width modulated output you will get. What is there in the pulse width modulation? In the pulse width modulation, signal can be generated by using a comparator. So this comparator we are using, where modulating signal are the sawtooth, where the modulating signal and sawtooth. You are giving the modulating signal, and the sawtooth signal you are giving as another input from the input of the comparator. So it is the simplest method of PWM generation. So this is, there are the other method. So this is what one of the method and simplest method. So this PWM generation is explained here with the help of this diagram, and we will go for the uh, waveform also. So you can see this very carefully. So as shown in one of the input is given to the comparator, is fed by the input message or the modulating signal, and the other input is the sawtooth signal, and the positive negative side is considered. So I'll not go in detail reading this. I'll just explain you that how this modulation is done. Now, as we mentioned here, this is what the sawtooth wave with a fixed interval. So you can say sawtooth, it is the amplitude is increasing. This dotted line is what your reference. So below that negative half cycle, positive half cycle is here. Again, below negative half cycle, positive half cycle, and again this sawtooth waveform is there, continuous. And input, that is what the modulating signal, we have taken this as the simple sinusoidal waveform. So this has been taken here. So how we can do the pulse amplitude modulation? Now, comparison, we have to just compare these two signals where it has which one is, now you just see here at this interval here, the dotted line is there. Okay, so you just see the dotted line. So as you will see this interval, so it will be easy for you. I'll draw a line. Okay, now you just see in this interval whatever the output here. Okay, this sawtooth is having higher amplitude as compared to this. So what you can say here, the negative pulse is there. Now you can see here, this is what one, and I'll just draw the another line here. Okay, it is not visible. I'll use the another color, green. Okay. So starting from here, okay, now you compare starting from here at this instant. So this is what your sawtooth is, and if you are comparing with this, now at this interval, this is negative and this is positive. Okay, so obviously the output is high. Okay, again at this interval here it is 0 volt and here it is positive, so output will be high. At this instant till this, it is this sinusoidal signal amplitude is high. Now as you will go beyond this, now at this interval it is becoming equal, and beyond this the sawtooth is high from this to this. So for this period, whatever this period, here the sawtooth is higher amplitude, so it becomes negative. So comparator give the output that the negative pulse. So negative pulse is there. So again it start from here. So you can see from here it is negative. So till this it is higher, and if you will go to this instant, again the sawtooth amplitude is higher beyond this. So here it is what you can say, at this instant it is positive signal, and beyond this it is negative. So I'll just consider here. So accordingly you can see this. So whatever the signals are there, so at this instant you can see. Now beyond this it is at this instant it is having the higher amplitude. I'll go for the another sawtooth. Now for this instant, it is sawtooth is having the negative, sawtooth is having the negative amplitude. Here, this sawtooth is having the negative amplitude. Here, at this instant, the sinusoidal is having the positive. So obviously, it is higher till this instant, because beyond this, the sawtooth amplitude will be higher. Okay, so till this interval, it is the output of comparator is positive. Beyond this, it is going to the negative. Okay, and now my sinusoidal instant it is going lower. So again, when the sawtooth start, it again start here. So sawtooth it is negative. So here it is positive. So it is giving pulse, and when it is crossing zero, now here it is becoming negative, and if this sawtooth is becoming positive. So at this instant, it is a negative pulse. Again, sawtooth is negative, and here this pulse is also negative, but it is less negative. So till this instant, you will get the positive this pulse. Okay, this positive pulse, and beyond this, it is the input signal is becoming negative, sawtooth is becoming positive. So here, this more interval will be what a negative signal, and accordingly, here you can see again. Here it is the sawtooth. Here this signal is positive or negative, but compared to the sawtooth, it is lesser. So that instant again it is releasing and it is increasing, so smaller pulse. And for the lesser amplitude, again the pulse, again the pulse. Now you just compare. You just see, we will see in the totality. Now at this instant, you just see the pulse, this pulse. What is the pulse width for this particular pulse? You just see. So the pulse width is very short, and you just see this pulse. Okay, this particular pulse. Now this pulse width, I'll give some number. So this is what I'll say, the pulse number 1. Okay, and this is pulse number 1, and here this pulse I'll say this is what the pulse number 2. Okay, for understanding. So this pulse number 2, you just see the width of this pulse is very short. Why? Because whatever the instantaneous signal here, the instantaneous signal is negative. So pulse width is very short. And here this instantaneous signal is positive. The pulse width is very broad. So based on the amplitude, what is done here? The amplitude of the pulse, based on the amplitude of the pulse, the width of the pulse is very higher. The amplitude, higher the width of the pulse. Lower the amplitude, that is negative the amplitude, shorter the pulse. Okay, so accordingly this modulation is done. That is higher the amplitude of instantaneous signal, the width of the pulse is higher, and lower is the amplitude, negative is the amplitude. So very small is the pulse. So this way it is done. So this is the pulse amplitude modulation. Is there any question for the pulse amplitude modulation? This way the pulse amplitude modulation is carried out. So this pulse amplitude modulation is done here. So is there any question? If there is, then you can ask. Otherwise, we will go for the next. Now, the next one is the pulse position, pulse position, PPM modulation. Now, how the PPM is generated? So again, for the PPM, I'll just show you the block diagram first for the PPM, and then the same waveform I'll explain. So for the PPM, that is the pulse, for the PPM, the input is pulse width modulation. For the PPM, your input is the pulse width modulation. So first you have to do the pulse width modulation, and then you have to do it. What we are doing, the pulse width modulation, we are giving it to the inverter and the differentiator. So this differentiator is the major role. So differentiator plays a major role, and it creates a pulse, differentiator pulse. And what we are doing for this differentiator pulse, this differentiator pulse, we are giving to the positive edge trigger and the pulse. Okay, so this is what the thing that we are doing here. So here the pulse width modulation input is given. So it is given to the inverter and then differentiator. Then after the differentiator, the positive edge trigger pulse is generated and the positive edge trigger is sensed, and then the pulse position modulation is done. Okay, so how it is done? The pulse position modulation, how the pulse position modulation is done, so that we will discuss here. So as I told here completely, I hope that all the waveforms are visible here. So initially, again, we have to repeat the procedure same for the pulse amplitude modulation, pulse width modulation. Now the pulse width modulation, the sawtooth waveform is given. And as I explained just now, the sawtooth waveform, this is what the input signal. And here the pulse width, the width of the pulse is varied accordingly. And you can see the higher the voltage, the width is more. Lower the voltage, negative voltage, width is less. Now, what we are doing, this is what the differentiator output. So we will focus on this. So what this differentiator output is there? So it is inverted. So this inverted differentiator means now this pulse is going from positive to negative. So it is going towards negative. You just see towards negative. So this pulse should be negative, but it is inverted. So this pulse is positive. It is going towards positive. The pulse is negative because it is inverted. So you just see that what way. I'll just put a arrow. So here it is going upward, and this is going downward. Okay, so downward, then it is the pulse is up, the positive, and for this the negative. Again, this pulse is going down, so it is going down. It is going down, so the output is positive. It is going up, but the output is negative. So it is inverted differentiator. Again, it is going down, the output is positive. It is going up, the output is negative. So this way the train of pulse here, positive differentiator, it creates. Now the role plays here. How the pulse position modulation it takes place. Now here in the pulse position modulation, the width of the pulse is fixed. Now here you can see all the pulses output, the width is fixed. Now what is that? Where you got the positive pulse. Now here the positive pulse is there. So this is the positive pulse. So for the positive pulse, you can see here, this is what the positive pulse. So for the positive pulse, where is the positive pulse? So this is what your positive pulse. So for the positive pulse, this pulse is starting here. Okay, positive pulse, it is starting here. Then negative pulse, no, nothing, nothing you have to do. Again, for the positive pulse, you have to sense the positive pulse, and the pulse will start here. Again, you have to sense the positive pulse. Again, the pulse will start here. Again, you have to sense the positive pulse. The pulse will start here. The pulse width is fixed here, pulse position. Again, the positive pulse, the pulse will start here. Again, the positive pulse, the pulse will start here. Again, this is the positive pulse, where the positive pulse is here. Then the pulse will start here. Again, the positive pulse, it is starting here. So now, what the position you can see, this is what the higher amplitude. You just see it is position away far away. And this is the negative. You just see the difference, the position between these two. It is the position is that not much difference is there. So position is near. So based on here, the positions are far away for the higher amplitude and positions are near for the lower amplitude. So accordingly, you can have the pulse position amplitude. So you can just see here. So accordingly, these whatever the inverted and differentiated pulse, we are positioning the pulse. So this is what the pulse position amplitude. We are also going practical for this, that is the pulse position amplitude. So is there any question here for the pulse position amplitude and pulse width amplitude modulation, as well as the previous? Is there any question? Okay. So here we are discuss the pulse width modulation, pulse position modulation, and how it is done. Here we discuss. This is what the waveform. Now this pulse width modulation and demodulation, how it is generated, pulse width modulation. This block diagram also we have discussed. Now we will go for the demodulation. How the pulse width modulation and pulse position demodulation is done. Now in the demodulation, the pulse width modulation and demodulation. Modulation is done. Now we'll go for the demodulation. So simple thing, this is what the pulse width modulation. So for the pulse width modulation, this is the clock. This is what your signal, and this signal is pulse width modulated, and this pulse width modulated signal, when it is passed through the system, then it is demodulated. Same thing, this is what the pulse position modulation, and this is what the demodulation. Now we'll see that how it can be done. So we will check here. For the pulse width modulation, put a ramp at the positive edge, which will stop the arrival of the negative edge. The ramp will attain different heights in each cycle, since the width are different at the highest attended are directly proportional to the pulse width, and each turn the amplitude to the message signal. Okay, so the ramp reference we are taking same here. This is then passed through the low pass filter. So everywhere we are using the low pass filter. Wherever it will follow envelope, that is a message signal, which produce the demodulated signal at the output. So this way the pulse width modulation demodulation is done. Now we will go for the pulse position demodulation. So pulse position demodulation, the ramp is used which start from the positive edge of one of the pulse and stop at the positive edge of the next pulse. So the complete wave is considered positive edge to positive edge. Thus, the height of the generated ramp is determined by the delay between the pulse, which indirectly flows the amplitude of the modulating signal. This is thus passed through a low pass filter. So low pass filter is common everywhere, which filter the envelope information as the demodulated signal. The modulation and demodulation waveform of PWM and PPM signal is here. So this is what the pulse width modulation and pulse position modulation. Is there any query in this? Mainly the understanding of this waveform is needed. It is very crucial. And if you will understand this waveform, then you can draw it and understand it. Okay. So now we will go for this comparison. Okay. Comparison between these all three. Okay. Now, in the comparison, we are trying to understand here that how these modulation techniques, that is the pulse modulation techniques, are there. So first point, here the amplitude of the pulse is proportional to the amplitude of the modulating signal. So here in pulse amplitude modulation, what we are doing, we are varying the amplitude of the pulse with respect to the amplitude of the input signal. Here, pulse width modulation, what we are doing, the width of the pulse is proportional to the amplitude of the modulating signal. So we are sensing the amplitude of modulating signal, accordingly, width of the modulated signal is varied. And here, the pulse position modulation, what we are doing. So in the pulse position modulation, the relative position of the pulse is proportional to the amplitude of the modulating signal. So here position is varied. So here amplitude is varied of the pulse. Reference for all this thing is the instantaneous amplitude of the modulating signal. So according to the modulating signal amplitude, here the amplitude of the pulse is varied, here the width of the pulse is varied, and here the position, the pulse width is common here, fixed, but position is varied. Okay. Then next, what is the bandwidth of the transmission channel depend on the width of the pulse. Now, if you will comment on the bandwidth, so what is the impact of the bandwidth? So the bandwidth of the transmission channel is depend on the width of the pulse. So pulse width is vary, the bandwidth will vary here. Bandwidth of the transmitted channel depends on the rise time of the pulse. So here, the bandwidth again, it is dependent on was rise time of the pulse. How much time you require to rise and fall. So that is considered. And the pulse position modulation, the bandwidth of the transmission channel depend on the rise time of the pulse. So here, this bandwidth of this both, that is pulse width modulation and pulse position modulation, it is comparatively stable, but here it is varied. The next point will go, in pulse amplitude modulation, the instantaneous power of the transmitter varies with the amplitude of the pulse. Now, as the pulse width we are varying here, the pulse amplitude we are varying here. So as the amplitude is varied, the transmitted power is varied. So transmitted power is not at all fixed here. It is continuously varying. As the width of the pulse is at the amplitude of the pulse is high, then transmitted power is high. And as the amplitude of the pulse is low, the transmitted power is low. So there is the fluctuation in the transmitted power. So if your transmitted power is varying, then it may affect at the receiver end. Why? Because transmitted power, there is a thumb rule, as you will have a transmitted power more, it may travel for a longer distance. But here the power is not fixed continuously, it is varying. So this may be the one of the disadvantage. In pulse width modulation, what is there? The instantaneous power of the transmitter varies with the width of the pulse. Now here we are varying the width. Amplitude is constant, but width of the pulse is varying. So as we will vary the width of the pulse, again the effective power will vary. If the pulse width is high, the power is high. If the pulse width is low, then power is low. Again, the same problem with pulse amplitude modulation and pulse width modulation is there, that is the variation in the transmitted power. But in the pulse position modulation, the instantaneous power of the transmitter remain constant with width of the pulse. Why? Here, a fixed interval is given. Okay, so for this interval, only the position, the width of the pulse is fixed. Only the position is varying, whether it will at start, middle, end, where the position is varying. So by varying the position, there is no impact on the power because the power width remain constant and only the position is changing. So here it is more stable. Pulse position modulation is more stable in terms of the power. So whatever the disadvantage with these two, the pulse amplitude modulation and pulse width modulation is not there in the pulse position modulation. Okay, so these are the some disadvantages and the advantages. Okay, so we are just comparing, trying to understand this. Now the next. So pulse amplitude modulation. So noise interference is high. Why noise interference is high in pulse amplitude modulation? Anyone can comment? Why the pulse amplitude modulation noise interference is high?
So the modulation is with respect to amplitude, and noise can be added easily to the amplitude.
Absolutely correct. So here you are varying the amplitude of the pulse, and always the noise insertion is in the pulse, is in the amplitude, whatever you are using the pulse or anything. So it is pulse amplitude modulation, noise interference is high. But in both pulse width modulation and pulse position modulation, noise interference is not that much high. Because here we are varying the width of the pulse and here we are varying the position of the pulse. So amplitude of the pulse remain constant. So in both, you will not have the much noise interference. So the clarity of the sound or clarity of the signal at the receiver is better in pulse width modulation and pulse position modulation compared to pulse amplitude modulation. This is what the drawback. Then pulse amplitude modulation, the system is complex. Here for pulse width and pulse position, the system is simple. Here we are trying to vary the amplitude. So varying the amplitude and why it is complex, anybody can comment. As for understanding purpose, we feel that the pulse amplitude modulation is simple as per the pulse position modulation. But here the system is complex, pulse amplitude modulation. Anyone can comment on this? Can you share your understanding why the pulse amplitude modulation is complex? Okay, I'll share it. So the system is complex because here you are having the amplitude variation, and amplitude variation, as we are going for the pulse system, so there is a fix, there are some standards. The voltage of the pulse is the standard parameter. As the TTL, it is 0 to 5 volt. Okay, so this is what the standard. But for the instantaneous, according to the instantaneous signal, you have to vary the amplitude of the pulse. So if you will have very high variation in the instantaneous signal, then same you have to reflect in the what your modulated signal. Okay, so there is if there is very small variation, if there is very large variation, then how to adjust the scale. So that is one of the issue. But here there is nothing. The things are fixed. You will have a fixed time period. In that maximum time period, you have to adjust the width. So that's why it is called, it is simple. And in the pulse position, again, it is simple because whatever the entire variation, you have to adjust in the remaining duty cycle. So this is what the thing here. Then last point, then this is the similar to the amplitude modulation, as it is the pulse amplitude modulation. The concept is similar to the amplitude modulation. Pulse width modulation is similar to the frequency modulation, and pulse position modulation, it is similar to the phase modulation. So these modulation in analog system here are reference of this. So is there any query for this? Now, as we have covered here the pulse amplitude modulation, pulse width modulation, pulse position modulation, and comparison also how the signal is generated, how the modulation is done, and how the demodulation is. So we will stop here.